Hi guys, so we are back. I'm kind of late to my own party because this was supposed to be my 1,000 subscriber video and I'm already a little bit over that and I already have more subscribers than that, but I still want to film this video for you guys and do a Kibbe Q&A. So I have my laptop here. Let's get started. So the first question that I want to talk about is actually how does color play into this? You guys know my channel is about color and Kibbe and style and things like that. So, you know, do different types have to wear their colors differently? So, okay, so here's how I see it. So let's say that you are, for example, a muted season, so you look best in warm or cool muted colors, but you're also a gamine. So Kibbe says that, you know, you should be wearing bright colors. So what do you do then? So I want to talk a little bit about what it means to be a muted season, right? If you're a muted season, it means that, of course, you look your best in cool muted colors or warm muted colors, but it also means that other colors that are just a little bit brighter are going to look like extremely bright colors on you. So as an example, you know, some color like this might look pretty bright on a muted season, but it's not going to look as bright on a bright season, right? So what am I trying to say here? It's basically that, you know, if you are a gamine and you are a muted season, there are a couple of things you can do. You can wear just, if you're a cool and muted season, you can wear cool and bright colors, which is what I sometimes do in some of my videos. You guys can see me wearing, so I am a gamine, I'm a soft gamine, and I am also cool and muted. So sometimes I will wear bright and cool colors because I'm a gamine and I know that I could pull that off a lot better than, you know, if I were a soft classic, I would not ever wear, you know, bright colors if I'm a muted season. So I hope that makes sense. You know, those colors are going to look brighter on you if you're a muted season. So for if you're a gamine, you can wear things that are a bit brighter and they will actually look better on you. But you know, those colors are going to be still a little bit muted, but not as muted as they would be if you were a classic or a natural or anything like that. A lot of questions about soft classic versus romantic. So this is completely reasonable and a completely reasonable confusion to have. And sometimes it can be difficult to tell, you know, when does a classic turn to, a set of classic answers turn into a set of romantic answers. And I think one of the best ways to tell the difference is through clothing, because remember, the whole point of Kibbe is to tell which clothing looks best on you. So I would say if you're confused, a good way to tell is to simply try on romantic clothing, just pure romantic, not theatrical romantic. So very frilly, very soft, very delicate. And, you know, if you're a classic, you're going to look like you're trying a little bit too hard to be feminine in that clothing, just a tiny bit, not too much. Even if you're a soft classic, it might be like, okay, you are kind of pushing it, right? So that's kind of the theme that you might see if you're a soft classic. If you're a romantic, of course, you'll look just right. So that's sort of what happens if you wear the romantic clothing. Now, if you wear classic clothing, so this is the second thing that I would suggest that you try. So you try classic and you try romantic and you see which one looks better. If you wear classic clothing and you're a soft classic, you will look very feminine, because that lack of softness in the classic clothing is going to make you look very feminine, because it'll be in contrast. You know, that lack of softness will be in contrast to the softness that you do have. So if you're a soft classic, you are going to look a lot softer in classic clothing, but you will also look better in classic clothing than you do in romantic clothing. Now, if you're a romantic and you wear classic clothing, you're going to look a little bit miserable. That's the best way I can think of putting it. It's going to look a little bit uptight on you, a little bit too repressed, you know, and it's going to look a little bit miserable. It's going to look very uptight. So a romantic wearing classic clothing, it's going to look a little bit uptight. Now, of course, you guys watched my video. I don't know my Kibbe type. Oh my God, my hair. I don't know my Kibbe type. What should I wear? And there I discuss, you know, wearing classic clothing is kind of the way to go if you don't know your Kibbe type. But at the same time, you know, if you're a romantic and you wear dramatic clothing, that's going to look completely separate. So it's always difficult to tell, you know, the difference between any type and classic simply because of that, because classic lines don't look terrible on anyone. Okay, so that's the answer to that question. So yeah, in summary, try classic and try romantic clothing, and if you are a romantic, you're going to look a little bit miserable in classic clothing, and if you are a classic, you're going to look like you're trying a little bit too hard in romantic clothing. And when I say classic, classic, soft classic, it's all the same, because it's still the same subtype. So yeah. The same goes for any kind of other subtype. If you're confused, for example, like, am I soft gamine or am I romantic or theatrical romantic? Try the clothing from that main type. So if you're between soft gamine and theatrical romantic, try gamine versus romantic. And, you know, one of them is going to look better. So then that will tell you which category you're in, and then you can say, hey, I can see that gamine looks better on me, so I must be soft gamine. Okay, so I've got a question. You guys saw my video maybe on the ethereal essence and sort of, should you stick to ethereal, ingenue, etc. if you have a lot of ethereal essence, or should you stick to Kibbe and Kibbe body typing? Now, first of all, that's a matter of preference, and it depends on a lot of things. It depends on if, you know, if you care a lot about how other people perceive you, or if you care only about your own preference. Because, why am I saying this? Because I think ethereal, the more I think about it and the more I study it and read about it, it does seem to be heavily cultural. So if a lot of people around you are telling you have an ethereal look, you yourself are of a similar culture to the people around you, and you also feel like you have an ethereal look, then you can absolutely go for that. But Kibbe is not culture dependent. It is all about the lines of the body. A straight line is a straight line, and a curved line is a curved line, no matter where you go in the world. So Kibbe is always safer. If you know your Kibbe type and, you know, you wear your lines, you will look good everywhere all around the world. But let's say when I did my video on the ethereal essence, I got a lot of stuff on, you know, oh, I don't think, you guys know Cate Blanchett is considered ethereal, and so I'll put an image of her here in ethereal clothing, and in Kibbe, she's considered dramatic. And so I got some comments that said that they think Cate Blanchett actually looks like she's trying too hard to be feminine in the ethereal clothing, but I think she looks completely ethereal and angelic in that clothing. So I think it might be cultural, and also, you know, some people will look like fairies, some people will look like wood nymphs, some people will look like aliens, you know, whatever, and those ideas and those images that we have in our head are culture dependent. So that's my long answer, is that, you know, if you're in a culture where definitely you're considered ethereal, then, and it's also a matter of taste, you know, you're gonna look good in both, but Kibbe is safer because Kibbe is not culture dependent. Somebody is asking, I'm reading, somebody is asking, I am not sure whether I am soft classic or soft gamine. I have dramatic and romantic features, but I am 5'6", so I thought I can't be gamine. Okay, so height is just one answer, and it's not going to mean that you must be a gamine or you must be a natural or you must be a dramatic. I'm really passionate about this, and that's a part of why I made this channel, because I was so confused about my own Kibbe type for a long time, because I am 5'7" and I am soft gamine. So my face is gamine and my body is soft gamine. So overall I am soft gamine. And that is sort of the first issue here is that, you know, you can absolutely be any type. You could be gamine and you could be 6 feet tall. I mean, you guys probably watched my video on Lily Cole's style report. Lily Cole is, I think she's 5'10". She looks like she's 6 feet tall. She's a model and she's soft gamine. So if you guys have not watched that, I will link the video down below. It's a really good example of someone who is very tall and is a soft gamine, and she looks great in soft gamine lines, and she's not a tall soft gamine. You know, she is just a soft gamine. You know, of course she's tall, but you know, nobody says, hey, you know, you're a tall dramatic. You know, it's just one of the answers. So I'm really passionate about that. Let's get back to the question. Okay, so I'm not sure whether I am soft classic or soft gamine. I have dramatic and romantic features. So if this is correct, right? If this person really has dramatic and romantic features, then they are gamine. If you're classic, you're not going to have that mixture of opposites. You're not going to be half dramatic, half romantic, right? So this person is probably soft gamine or gamine, just judging from what they told me in this question. Okay, so what is D in the test, please? I've got mostly D's and there's no explanation. Is it ingenue? Okay, you guys, I think that, and I've heard, okay, everybody has heard the rumors. Kibbe says that answer D is theatrical romantic. And I agree. I think answer D is theatrical romantic. So that is, that's the answer to your question. I've never seen Kibbe say that directly. I've never, you know, I feel like a lot of the times this kind of stuff with Kibbe said this, Kibbe said that can be a game of telephone. But regardless, I also think it's theatrical romantic. Answer D is theatrical romantic. And is it ingenue? No. Answer D is not ingenue. No. No. Please watch my video on the ingenue essence. Ingenue is baby faceness, and if you have answer D eyes, for example, and let's say some of your sharpness comes from, and answer D eyes are slanted, slightly upturned, slightly close together, and that's answer D. And then imagine again if some of your softness, if your theatrical romantic maybe comes, if some of your yang undercurrent might even come from having slightly taut cheeks. No. Baby faceness is ingenue. You can Google baby faceness. It's not theatrical, it's not answer D. Answer D is not ingenue. David Kibbe does not recommend the test anymore because it's not accurate. Well, I found the test to be extremely accurate, and I think part of the reason why it's not accurate is because it's just so confusing. And I find that, you know, first and foremost, at the end of the day, what matters the most is what the clothes look like on you, right? But the test is such a good indicator in my experience of which clothes are going to look good on you. It's not even funny. So I think maybe, and I'm not Kibbe, I'm not affiliated with Kibbe, but maybe a part of why he ended up having to say that is because people just do not do the test correctly, and it's very confusing. It's not people's fault. Like, the test is super confusing, and yeah. So, okay, so that's my opinion on it. I've had great success with the test, and Lily Cole is a good example of that. You know, if you do the test for Lily Cole and you watch my video, it's really consistent, and it's really remarkable how accurate it is and how well it predicts which clothes you're going to look best in, if done correctly. Can you have a big head and not be a gamine? I'm confused between soft gamine and romantic. Yeah, so you can have a big head and not be gamine. Is that right? Can you have a big head and not be a gamine? Yes, you could be romantic and have a big head. You could be any type and have a big, you could be soft classic and have a big head, because that could be a part of your yin that's adding to your otherwise classic lines. So that is also totally an option. So yes, you can definitely be, in fact, you'd be less likely to be a romantic with a small head than a gamine with a small head, because gamines are just a mixture of opposites. So that is just one answer, that the size of the head, which is the same as asking what the vertical line is, that's just one answer out of 15. So yeah, you can absolutely be a gamine and have a small head or a large head. And you can also be romantic and have a small head or a large head, because it's just one question. It's not going to determine, you know, your entire body type. Okay, oh my God, you guys. What do I think of dress for your face and not for your body? I might make an entire separate video on this, but I think I very much disagree with dressing only for your face and not for your body. And for more information on this, you can watch my video titled Same Face, Different Kibbe Type. And I think it's so important to realize this, because I think people are going to look very, very awkward if they only dress for their face, because your face and your head are attached to your body. And, you know, that's, hopefully that's the case. And hopefully, while you're dressing yourself, your face is always going to be attached to your body. So, you know, there's no way to get around this. And if you dress only for your face, then it's going to look very strange. And, you know, for me, my body is kind of like, if my face was soft dramatic, which it's not, but if my face was soft dramatic, I might be soft dramatic, but my face is not soft dramatic and my body is not exactly soft dramatic. So I'm actually soft gamine. You know, you have to be, you have to think about how your face attaches to your body. And yeah, please watch my video titled Same Face, Different Kibbe Type. I will link it down below, but I'll just say quickly what I said in that video. So this is Sofia Solaris, and she looks very similar to Selena Gomez. And Selena Gomez is soft natural and Sofia Solaris is soft gamine. And you know, some people say Sofia Solaris doesn't look anything like Selena Gomez. Doesn't matter. Their answers to the Kibbe test for their face is exactly the same. Their answers are completely duplicate answers. But Sophia, because of her short vertical line, she looks like she might be drowning a little bit, because her face exists and it looks just like Selena Gomez's face. But then her shoulders are so small compared to her head, right? And so that makes her, you know, that's a part of what makes her soft gamine. It's not all of it. Your shoulders alone are not going to make you soft gamine, and they're not going to make you soft natural or anything like that. But you can see already, even just looking at her like this, not even looking at the whole thing, you can see that her head is large relative to her shoulders. That already hints that she's not a soft natural, because there are two things that go into that. First of all, her shoulders are not answer B soft yang shoulders, and secondly, her vertical line is very small, so her head is very large compared to the rest of her body. So Sofia Solaris, even though she has a soft natural face, even the way that your face attaches to your body, right, just up to here, is already gonna give away your type a lot of the time. So I hope that answers your question. I am very against dressing only for your face. How can you create more exciting or more glamorous looks if you're a classic? I really like this question because it got me thinking a lot about, let's say if you are a gamine, but you feel like your style is more elegant, more minimalistic, more simplistic, or if you're a classic and you feel like your personal style is more fun, more dynamic than that of a classic. So I really want to talk about this because I think this is like a really neat thing to sort of think about, and to think about how different types can dress for their personal style. But I also want to talk about, I'm going to give you an analogy, right? If you have a size medium shirt, and somebody says, you know, hey, this is a size medium shirt, size M, and I want to wear this shirt, and I want it to be tight on me. Well, like, okay, I mean, we don't know what the size of this person is who's saying that they're going to wear a size medium shirt, right? That size medium, it doesn't mean anything if we don't know what the size of the person is. If the size of the person is extra small, then that size medium shirt is gonna look natural on them. It's gonna look like natural lines. It's gonna be loose, right? And if that person is a size extra large, then that size medium shirt is gonna be very small on them. It's the same way with Kibbe body typing, you know, like if you have a classic and this classic woman, she wants to look very fun, then even that little tiny bit of detail is going to look fun on her. If you take that same detail and you put that on a gamine, then that small detail will not even show on the gamine. You know, that's the idea of Kibbe body typing. So, you know, it's never that a classic can't be fun or a gamine can't be elegant. You know, for a gamine, minimal detail is very different than for a classic to have minimal detail. I mean, for me, look at this. Look at what I'm wearing now with these little things. If a classic would wear this with the high neckline too, you know, they might look like they are going a little crazy, you know, maybe, right? If a classic were to wear this. As a gamine, this looks like minimal detail on me, doesn't it? Right? So that's the idea. If a classic were to wear these and this, it would be like, it would be really a very fun look for a classic. For me, this is like an elegant look. And, you know, it's kind of, it looks like it's minimal detail, right?
Okay, you guys, so as I was recording this, I realized that it would be over an hour long. So I will post part 2 and edit that and have it in a little bit. And if you guys are interested in getting some sort of consult with me, you can check out my website on how to arrange that. And if you have any questions that you want me to include in future videos, you can leave them down below as well. So thanks for watching.